Okay, so.
No problem. Call the meeting to order at 10:07.
We got it.
I got it.
Wow.
I have. When you go upstairs and then they have to pat you down before you can get in the building.
All right. Public record. Hit any Jordan, Moldow, I see online. If there's any items you'd like to speak to during the meeting, if you can raise your hand or just jump in, feel free. Open forum. I thought just quickly, since it's not agendized, but David, you had brought up a request a month or so ago about some metered spaces on Santa Clara Street. Yes, you want to provide a quick update on that?
Yeah, so
Before you say that, can I just say a little something first? So, again, I'm a little under the weather, I'm sorry. I'm just curious, globally, how do you think about when to change, have a look at, review parking in a particular area? Is there
it's
a
by
general?
observation or request.
Okay,
So the
so I
observation
requested this one here, and then I talked with the new wine guy on Little Italy, and I'd like to throw that into the mix too. It probably needs a survey first, because I only talked to one property owner or business owner, and those meters go till 10 o'clock at night on that street of Italy there. And they were saying,
part of the arena.
yeah, and they were saying it would be better if they stopped at 6, but that was just one
They
person.
stop at 6, so and then having venting.
No,
No, it's all the
not
time.
on,
Not
It's all the time.
not on the street
That
there,
little
no,
stretch.
because they'll be filled by staff and event goers on the, 150 nights a year where they have an event, so the discouraging piece was to have them be metered, and they've been that way for 15 years, to ensure that there's some turnover for.
Yeah, I understand why
So
you
these
do it.
are not the ones about the event park.
No, not the
No.
ones in Little Italy on, what is the street there?
It's the Little Italy Street.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's just one business owner, and he said it would be much better for his business if they ended at 6. So I'm just sharing that with you. Do with it as you want. So now I'd like to hear about my parking across the street, since everything's a big.
Yeah, so the easy thing is to change the meter from 30-minute programmatically to 2 hours,
Right.
which we've done already. So
Oh, you have?
since you submitted that request.
Oh.
If someone wants to pay more than 2 hours, up to 2 hours, they could. But the problem is with the signs. My estimate for the signs to be installed, because we have to put the work orders through the meter, for sign shop. And they're not in our group, and they do signs all over the city. So my estimate is either this week or next week, the signs will go up.
So the spaces now are 2-hour metered spaces, so if you were to pull up to that, now you would see the sign potentially that says 30-minute, but the physical meter would allow you to pay for 2 hours.
And then sorry to pursue so there's white zones and yellow zones there? Can we just put parking spaces there too?
Yes, and also we're waiting to finalize. Apparently, taxi companies, they don't want spaces anymore, and I think so. We need to revamp this whole area, because I think there are also a couple of taxi spaces. So we are gonna revamp that area.
That's the white zones.
One of them is like a taxi between, I forgot the time, between certain time and certain time, only taxi. But taxis, all the companies across the city, they said we don't need those spaces because they pay for them. They share they share the cost for it.
Yeah.
It's my municipal code, and they said, oh, well, we don't need our business model change. We don't need to sit and wait. Right now, it's like,
Well,
they
thank
all
you.
very politics.
Thank you. I don't know if I was a great person or we've gotten such great service, but I appreciate it.
Of course I would.
Give us some credit.
Well, I said I didn't know. But that's great, because I'm gonna alert everybody, all 400 and something of our members, that they can park there for 2 hours now. That's great. That's great, thank you.
Item 4, minutes for the June 7th meeting. I get a motion and a second.
I just have a complaint with 5A.
Okay. Oh.
Is there a motion to approve it?
But I was not in the meeting, so I couldn't make.
I move we approve them, and I second. Is it just the 3 of us
It
today?
is just, there's only 4 sitting board members, so
Oh my God.
I don't know how we address this since nobody was at the meeting and we're gonna approve them with one, but
Well, you can postpone it till the next meeting.
but then there's nobody, there's only 2
That's
people,
true.
it's gonna be a situation, so we'll make a mental note of it and we'll go from there. Guys didn't watch the Zoom meeting. They're recording.
We were captivated.
Yeah, right, no.
I was here, wasn't I?
Yes,
I
you were.
remember those other 2 people who voted.
So, but you can only consent to Zoom, you cannot really vote, right?
Correct, yeah, I mean, you would be absent from the meeting.
Right.
They've gone back to in-person meetings, obviously, we're sitting here today. But they have to be online for the public
Sure.
to attend. The work plan, so this was presented previously, it's unchanged from them, so the last time it was presented, it was in its draft form. So this would be considered kind of the final form, obviously, there's an opportunity to change anything, but this continue the base bones of our standard working agenda for the year. So in November, we're out on our kind of year-end updates, both lots, garages, meters, the CIP conversations that we have. We'll continue the conversation around the meter district stuff that we need to kind of, as a city, wrap our heads around, seeing where that ends up. And that's on there for 2 different
Is this a good time to mention, congratulate everybody for paying $4.5 million to fix elevators? Is that later in the agenda?
The capital will be in the other,
Get to that.
we will get to it. So this is a approval item.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing none? Unanimous.
Following along at home. Share. Let's see if this works. That's small, but they can zoom in. So the capital for so we've wrapped our 22-23. This tries to give you a snapshot of what we did last fiscal year, which just ended in July. So overall, we had just shy of $29 million in our capital. Big budget items were the garage elevators, just over $5 million. Garage facade, which is the Market Street garage facade project of nearly 4.5. The greater downtown parking inventory at just shy of 9.5. And then our revenue control, we've talked about this for years now, is the money for the project that we did all the technology improvements at our parking garages. And we're just finalizing still that project to finalize cutting those checks, although we have written most of them at this point. So the first column is what we started our year with at $28.9 million. We made some adjustments throughout the year to basically move monies that we knew we wouldn't spend, but we needed for the next year. So for the garage elevators, that project was trailing. We knew we wouldn't need the bulk of that money, so we moved 4.5 million to 23, 24. Same with the downtown parking inventory, we moved 4.8 million next year. Some of the other projects like the facade and the others, we didn't move those monies just in case any of the contracts were signed and we needed that money in that year. But we will end up carrying the bulk of that. So our 29 million was reduced by the 9.3, leaving us with 19.6 million in that third column. And then the fourth column is what we actually spent. Some of these monies we will liquidate to our fund balance, and that'll help us fund next year's capital, either in those same lines or moving in between lines. One big one that I did want to call out is in minor parking facility improvements. It was $2.8 million. We repaved the South Hall parking lot, which is the parking lot around the blue and white tent over by the convention center. So we repaved that. That was roughly $300,000. It was finalized in July, right? And so technically that money was spent in the current fiscal year. So we kept some money there, but it was spent. We'll see that hit the books in upcoming report outs on 23, 24. In addition, part of that $2.8 million, 800,000 of it, we are going to be carrying over to 23, 24 and moving into our green technology and innovation line to redo the lighting at the convention center garage with LED lighting. We have over the last couple of years done all of the garages except for the convention center. So they had put LED tubes in fluorescent fixtures. So you get some of the electrical savings, but not to the degree if you put a full LED fixture in. And the current fixtures there are no longer kind of supported by Public Works. So we're going with the same fixture that we have in all of our other garages. So it's uniform, it's easily repaired if we need anything by Public Works.
Do we have an estimate what the savings would be switching to LED?
Yeah, admittedly, it's not a 2-year payback or something like that. I think it's like a 5-year plus payback. The biggest challenge that we're finding is that the fixtures that are there now are just not even available or supported. So it was kind of time to do something, and replacing them with a like fixture that we have throughout the entire portfolio just made too much sense. So I think we did those lights are on 24/7, 365. I want to say it was like $50,000 a year.
Well, it depends how you set them, because I think they have a threshold. No activity.
So the new fixtures, if you've ever noticed in our garages, they will actually dim down a bit, and then not to zero, but they'll dim down a bit, drawing less electricity, and then as people either walk or drive, they fire up to 100%. And so at somewhere like a convention center that is truly dark or vacant for chunks of time because there's nothing happening in the center, I think we'll find ourselves maybe getting more savings than some of our other facilities just because those ones typically have activity 365 days a year. So let's see, garage elevators, that project, we have signed an agreement with a vendor to start that project. It is going to be a multi-year project to replace the elevators at the 4th Street garage, so right here in San Fernando, the Market Street garage, and the 3rd Street garage. So it's 2, 5, 10 elevators in total across those 3 locations.
How many are in the market?
2.
And the others are?
3 at 3rd Street and 5 at 4th and San Fernando.
5, that's right.
It's got the banquet center there, yeah. And so.
So that's $450 each roughly as a guess. Times 10.
Yeah, it's not evenly spread only because some of the elevators, controllers, interior replacements, gearing, motors, or something else, so it's not,
I'm not surprised it's $450,000. I mean, that
yeah,
doesn't
some of them
surprise
are a
me at
little,
all.
yeah.
That's what order are you gonna do these in? And when do you start? And when are you done in the market's impact? That's all I care about.
So,
You'll like my retrofits to your market
Focus,
change.
I opened the door to look at all the
I can give you
traffic
some
around
details and
next
present
meeting.
out at the next meeting on what the timing is and
Is
what
it
the-
during next fiscal year you're gonna start or?
Oh, absolutely, no, we're in our fiscal year now, and so the
Right.
vendor is on board, the contract is signed, they're starting the engineering work, so behind the scenes, the work is happening. Lead times on actually ordering many of these pieces are
change.
a year out, so, but I will get some answers.
It's exciting.
No, and yes, it's long overdue, like from a standpoint of probably wouldn't have been in a position to necessarily do some of these elevators if it weren't for some of the vandalism and stuff that we've seen occur over the last couple of years. We would have done some refreshing, maybe behind the scenes to the pieces of the equipment that nobody even sees or touches, but now we're doing kind of everything.
But what I read was that these new elevators are gonna be more difficult to make a mess in. Or something.
Hopefully, like we're gonna get rid of, you know,
Certain things that you're doing to them.
yeah, like we're not gonna have like rubber kind of linoleum floor that was standard the last go around, it's gonna be metal, so.
Fire.
Knock on wood, we haven't seen our favorite fire starter recently.
Sorry for bringing that up.
You know it's bad when you see him hanging around with, you know, lighters and, you know, fire starting stuff, so.
He sat in front of my space next to the Fuji Sushi, trying to light the wood framing they had on fire, burned down 4 years ago, right?
So,
That's pretty sick.
order and timing, I've got a note and we'll provide an update. Garage facade improvements, so that project continues to move forward. We hope to get the demo of the facade started this fiscal year. New stuff going back in the subsequent fiscal year, so kind of a two-phase project.
Can I ask, what's your new facade art installation?
So.
Is there a design or anything? Or
Yeah, do you
got an
recall the
architect?
illuminated, like, spider web-ish design that we had shared?
You've already got a design and it's going on the side of the building.
Yes.
Got it.
Be happy to share it with you.
I'm sure it's wonderful.
I think you'll be pleasantly impressed with,
Because it goes first 90 minutes free.
all it says is, please come downtown and just park for 90 minutes and then drive
On your way.
Let me see if I can see. It's worth pulling up, I mean, I think you
All
should.
right,
Yeah.
there we go. All right, I asked the question.
It's the same guy who did the sculpture on top of the,
Spark, right?
Yeah,
Our agreement will be such that
Apartments down.
Yeah.
our agreement will be such that it actually, instead of sparks, removed. I don't know the specifics on why, but I think it, you know, I don't know that they had an agreement long-term, like, the agreement was done as part of their kind of requirement to put public art up, but they did not put the money behind.
Like the Eiffel Tower, he promised it would only be there for 1 year. So we got it approved.
Is that true?
Everybody said it was horrible, Canada.
the maintenance on that sculpture. What's the issue? That's my understanding.
that's,
I think that's probably part of it.
There's probably something coming back from Burning Man. a little muddy, but still.
Yes.
This thing out here is from Burning Man. This thing.
The rings, the sign.
Haven't been, sorry. You been?
Friends have.
I know, right? I don't wanna be someplace dusty. Sorry.
Believe him.
You don't have to.
No, it's right here. I already have it, now I just need to allow me to play it. Oh my, what? It won't let me play the video?
It's so dumb.
The one you paid.
You have to pay.
You're on a trial.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
We gotta find some more people for our little happy group here.
Yeah,
I need to start soliciting.
I've emailed Alex, you guys have a seat on this board, and he didn't respond to me.
Rick's like, no comment.
You're on the clock, you know?
So there's the render.
Oh my gosh. All of that, is all four sides?
Wraps around.
Well, 3 of the 4, because one is next
One
to
is
Yeah,
a
you got the
confidential
building.
wall.
You got the building.
I don't know why it's so slow, because
It's
it's streaming.
Probably streaming.
Is it lit at all?
Yeah, so it'll show you the nighttime view.
Wow. That cost how much?
Well, the
And then-
demo of the existing is gonna cost us.
I'm here for you.
Oh.
Not getting away with that.
All right.
Oh, we need to remove those cars.
Yeah.
It's a parking garage. What do you mean?
No, the cars on the street.
Oh.
San Pedro side.
You have it lit up too?
It'll show the rendering at night. What's not shown here is the billboard on the corner there that says a part of a completely separate city endeavor.
Electronic billboard?
Yeah. So
What's
there's,
it gonna say? Other than first 90 minutes?
we're gonna buy all ad time on it. So that is on the corner of St. John and Market.
Yeah.
No cars on the left there.
Yeah, no cars on the left. And no entrance there, so we're excited to get this project, further down the way, so Public Works is working on, the first step is removing all of the existing tile facade, and then they need to kind of recondition the surface, and then phase 2 is putting this up.
So when will it be completed?
Not this fiscal year, next fiscal, 24-25.
Does that qualify as art then? Mess around?
Yep, it went through the public art committee, the vendor or the artist was selected via the city's public art process, so. Yeah. So that's kind of the recap of 22-23 capital. This is just an update item, so no action necessary. If there's any other questions, happy to answer them. I will highlight that the security improvement line, which we have a little over $1 million and we've been holding for the better part of a couple of years, the city did an RFP, it was unsuccessful, they've gone out, so I believe that's kind of an active process right now. It's a citywide contract, so many departments have various kind of security or surveillance cameras, and so we're a part of that process, and we've got the money available if and when we get a contract to us to Item 6B is the revisit to what we had proposed last time, so here, so we can just walk through the proposed 23-24 budget. It was originally released in May. City Council had hearings in May and June. They approved this at the end of June, June 20th, and it'll be final budget adoption in mid-September. So later this month, we'll see it adopted. We don't anticipate any significant changes from what you'll see in the third column there in the 23-24 proposed budget. Revenue totals, as you can see, our year-end estimate. If you look at the second column, maybe I narrated, might be easiest to follow, but the second column is our year-end estimate. The first column is our modified budget. So we had our budget, we modified that budget at some point throughout the year. We then use that year-end estimate to develop our proposal. So our revenues are projected to be 15 million, very close to our year-end estimate. We're not seeing any big drivers to generate a whole lot more revenue, and we haven't seen factors that are gonna significantly reduce that anyway. So our $15 million is where we're at for 23-24. 12 million for our off-street facilities, lots of garages, and
When does the 22-23 year-end estimate become final?
well, technically it's already final because the money's done. We'll present at the next board meeting kind of the year-end.
Takes a
So they're
while
kind
for
of,
the bean counter.
yeah. I would say we're very close on revenue. We're likely to be under in our expenses. But we will have the final totals for you at the next meeting. Expenditures, so there were some increases. There's increases in our proposed budget over our year-end estimate. In DOT contractual services, those are our big contracts for our park operator, our security vendors. I know we've talked about this before. Typically, they're at our contractual cap limits is what we budget for to give us that flexibility. We are finding that particularly in our security vendor contract, we're spending all of that money. Throughout the pandemic, we were underspent, just whether it was staffing levels, activity levels, events not happening, we just didn't need the amount of services, both from our parking operator and our security vendor. Now, our parking operator, we're ramping them up with staffing as well. So we'll see them expending at a higher level than we have in the last couple of years. Our security, we're gonna spend every dime of our security monies. There won't be anything left on the table. Our security vendor, we now have stationary guards at all of our garages pre-pandemic and throughout the pandemic even. We were strategic in those placements. Never really had a whole lot of issues, let's say historically at Market Street Garage, where we had some issues at Fourth and San Fernando, let's say. So we had stationary there, but not at Market. We have now put stationary guards, whether Monday through Friday for business aspects, or in some cases on Saturdays and Sundays, some of the other garages. But for the most part, we have stationary guards Monday through Friday from 6 a.m., 7 a.m. till either 6 or even 9 p.m. And then we have the 24/7 roving patrol vehicle, which is going, we have 2 now. So the response times and the frequency in which they're hitting all the facilities is that much higher.
Just to clarify, the stationary guard doesn't mean that they have a post that they just.
No,
Right.
right.
They are patrolling the garage, but they're assigned to the garage.
Yeah, it's their one.
How would you identify one of them? So they have any
They're in full uniform, first alarm, no, not first alarm,
Good guard.
good guard.
good guard?
the-
Yeah, that's the sign on the wall.
We encourage you, I do it all the time, we encourage the public, you spread that message. Use that phone number. If you see something that just doesn't look right or feel right, call the number, it's 24/7. Tell them you'd like to have a guard dispatched, whether it's somebody sitting on the stairs, whether it's, somebody kind of loitering around. You see something, please report it. all too often we get a phone call or an email that says, last week I was there and there this, that, and the other." It's like, great, it's good for us to know, but if it was last week, we can't do it. So I don't wanna say nightly I make that phone call, but very often when I'm down, if I see something, I call it, they said something. It could be that they call the guard that's stationed and working in that facility just to, hey, leave your current location and go to the stairwell, wherever it is, or they'll send the patrol. Help us kind of spread that message. We have signage in our facilities that's kind of dual purpose. It's call this number for security, call this for facility items. So it's an attempt to get people to help us, like, you see trash, you see, you know, spilled coffee, you know, somebody just dumps it out their window and dumps it in oil stain or whatever. Help us help you. If people report, then, you know, we can jump on those things.
No, they rather put next door.
Yeah, well, it's a problem because, I mean, people don't wanna call and the police say the same thing. They say, make the call because that's how we know something's going on. And that builds into their database of, you know, what they're supposed to be doing and where they should be, like, putting their resources.
Yep.
But people are reluctant to make the calls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that, you know, as they send us those emails that, hey, last week this happened, and I always reiterate, you know, thank you, but next time, please, you know, in real time, we can respond to you.
Can you repeat that number again?
I didn't say it, but I can pull it up.
Newsletter.
That's what I'm thinking.
800-484-1607. Yep.
I think they ripped the sign down. Markets and favor on the garage. Guard sign, I think.
Make a note of it.
There were two signs there. And
6 feet.
I think it was the guard.
Get you out of here.
Yeah. I was on listening anyway, so,
You're still listening.
I am. I'm active listening.
So expenses, 1.4 million dollars over, you know, our year-end estimate, mostly attributed to our contract services. Overhead is the city's, you know, each fund is assessed fees. Those cover kind of non-revenue producing attorneys, you know, different HR, all the fees that each fund has to pay into facilities, city hall. So ours has gone up almost $300,000. We also increased slightly the police garage security detail. This is the overtime police detail for the downtown garages. That's Friday and Saturday nights. It used to be $250, went to $300, $320, now $350. As wages increase, we can't get the same amount that we used to, and you know, we're just seeing that we need those officers as often as they're available to take those shifts. We'll take the full complement of, I believe it's 4 officers in 2 vehicles, 2 and 2. And they're dedicated to our facilities. And they will patrol all of them and then set up in high visibility areas in certain facilities that they know either attract a nighttime crowd and stuff, so.
I'm sorry, I'm asking lots, am I asking too many questions?
Never too many questions.
The total operating revenue of 15 million, what's the best year we ever had? Pre-pandemic, 19. That's our goal, so at least get back to that.
Yeah, so our meters were right around 4 million and garages were about 15. So I think this is now the new.
Zoom's back in the office 2 days a week now. Coming, buddy. They're all coming back.
Let's see,
Is everyone in City Hall back in City Hall now? department-wide decision by the
We are-
red, right?
Officially supposed to be here at least 2 days a week.
Okay.
You know, some departments are higher than that.
The city manager said it's up to the department head to decide. That's what
Well, it's a minimum set by the city manager, like the attorney's office, that's around 100 does. So, but I think we're pretty good compliance with that. There's
Definitely 2 days a week, and then there's just so many occasions like
where you have to
this.
be here
Now you're here
because
at council
there's-
meetings.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, it's like,
More occasions than not that bring you that third or fourth.
yeah, there's now more in-person meetings and ones with council members that are in person, and so just kind of that's where it is.
But basically, it's at least 2 days a week.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
I think many companies still require 3 days, like our company.
It's going that way.
Yep.
Most of my department, no, so. You know, all licensed people,
These folks live here from what I think.
or maintenance yards, they never went.
Yeah.
They're all up there working, so.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Transfers to the general fund, many are prescribed, many are based on the mayor's budget, actions. So you'll see just slightly less than our year-end estimate. The general fund transfer is actually down, compared to last year. 500 to 365. And most of the line items are either in line or slightly above where they were the prior year. We are proposing 4 million in our operating fund to transfer to our capital to cover our capital program. See that down there. Our ending fund balance numbers, we are funding the working meter district reserve based on the downtown meter performance with $300,000 is the anticipated funding for the year into that. And continue to monitor the performance of all the meters and continue that conversation around the reserves and individualized zone reserves. I can touch on. So the next page, we created this as just a quick, high-level overview of the larger tables. It just highlights 15.15 million in revenues, operating expenditures of 12.4, gives you a net of 2.7. We're transferring out 950,000, gives you a net revenue of 7. We're transferring 4 million out of the operating into capital to fund that. And so the change to our fund balance is 2.2 million reduction. So that's kind of just a quick, easier to consume table. And you'll see we did something similar to that for capital this time. We haven't done that previously, which is the final page. Okay, go over the capital, which is the next to last page here. So this is the 5-year. This is straight out of the city's kind of adopted budget. We presented this previously. This shows our beginning fund balance of, I'll talk mostly to the 23-24 column. The others are, and I'll miss the plug numbers for those out years. Beginning fund balance 11 million. You're putting in 4 million into the fund from operating. That was that transfer I spoke to give us 15 million in capital. You can see the individual line items there. Now those individual amounts will increase as we carry money over from the last year, either unspent monies from last year. Garage elevators is a good example. We're putting 1.3 million in new monies in that first line there. But we're gonna carry over the 5 million unspent from last year to give us the money to fulfill the project. So 8 million in actual project expenditures across those lines. There's 1.5 in parking and transportation capital reserve, leaving us with an ending fund balance of 5 million. See that 5 million goes to the top in the next year. And then waterfall down, it just kind of keeps that same across. The last page is, again, just that simplified table, beginning fund balance, what we transfer into the fund, and we're showing over the next 3 years, 4 million, 2.5, and 1.3 of our operating monies into capital to cover project expenses, with a total balance of 8.7, 6.5, and then there's the capital project amounts. And then you see the reserves, that net revenue being the remaining balance, and that same kind of waterfall effect happens across the 5 years. As we've always done, each of the out years is going to change as we get better focus on what projects might be needed and what projects might be carried forward, so the balance are always going to ebb and flow. I think the 15 is probably high for our out years because we've got things like the garage, elevators, and the facade that are 4 and 5 million. So I think the project totals, you see here that their capital program like 2 million in those out years. It's probably going to be more like 5 for all those out years as we continue each year over year. But that'll come from mostly unspent monies.
The downtown parking inventory, greater downtown parking inventory will be done at the end of this fiscal year?
Will it be done? Likely no. Will there be other monies in those years? Maybe not. You know, we're not currently identifying more funding in those lines. The projects are the Diridon area sites. We are doing the Milligan parking lot this year, which is in the fund currently. The bigger question is what additional parking may be necessary in that area. We've identified a Lot E site. I think there's other land acquisition. There was a piece purchased this year already. I think there's one more site that may be needed. And then if the garage was ever to be something that the city was to pursue along with the Sharks, it would be something well in excess of the parking fund could support. So
$50 million.
So, yep. So that is an update. Any questions? No, this was just an update.
Number 7?
So give us a brief update on this part.
Yeah, I shared with you previously that there was an opportunity for a USDOT grant related to mobility. So we applied for it. We got selected to move on with this pilot program. So right on August, I think 29th, the council approved, giving the city manager authority to get into agreement with USDOT. The expected effective date for the agreement with USDOT is September 15th. Working on finalizing that agreement. And from that, we have 18 months to procure the services, equipment, and finish the project, analyze the data, etc. And after the 18 months, if everything is fine, if we're happy with the outcome, our chances of that happening is increased by the fact that we applied for this agreement in a collaborative effort with other cities, such as SFMTA, San Diego, Seattle, Philadelphia. It's about 6-7 cities. But Portland, so, and we're separate. I mean, each project is getting its own funding, it has its own scope, but very similar, and we're gonna share data with each other and collaborate in that sense. So if that works out, the US DOT is gonna take us to the second phase, which is giving us $16 million to invest to expand the project.
And so we'll be done with this money?
So our project is now focused on getting to know what's going on at the curb. First of all, we're gonna take inventory of the curb and digitize it. So this way we know where all the restrictions are, where all the curb types are. We're gonna install sensors so we can get activity out of the study area because it's a pilot. So we will know like the utilization of the curb, how, if it's efficient. For example, we have freight loading zone, our vehicles parking there to do that activity, or is that freight loading zone is sitting there unused for most of the day? Or do we have other areas where maybe we can put freight loading zones that are more effective? The project also will issue 3 APIs for vendors to use, or service providers. One is the inventory API, second is utilization API, and then there is the analysis API. This will allow us to share occupancy and availability of on-street parking with vendors so that they can integrate it with their services, maybe Google Maps or Apple Maps, where they can let people know where parking is on the street. Maybe offer payment to them, depending on how.
Can you confirm the study area?
It's down to core downtown, but we haven't selected the streets yet.
Is it include Japan or no?
I think we have an opportunity because it's part of downtown. We have an opportunity to study something there, but we haven't worked it.
So when you say that there is possibility to which census figuring out, how they utilize, are there any plans or any ideas about, for example, reserving a parking spot?
Yeah, that's in the discussion.
Okay, because that also would help, if you.
There is a
Mostly at a
there is a
commercial
movement.
level.
Yes.
It's more on a commercial.
Yes, there is a movement
UPS,
across. Yeah, there is a movement across the nation. There is a movement across the nation trying to make it easier for, service providers like FedEx to do their, and Amazon. And those companies are willing to share their fleet information and when they are doing deliveries at one time. By what we are doing on our end as cities, in this collaborative, we want to standardize the data, the inventory data, the utilization data in a format where everybody can access it easily, and not to have a standard where the vendor cannot provide the service because the data structure is. So DOT and City of San Jose is, we are members of the Open Mobility Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that started their efforts by providing the standards for micromobility. And now we're doing the curb data specification, which is aside the micromobility, but under the foundation. I'm a member of the steering committee for the work. So we are guiding that effort so we can agree with vendors and cities about the standard that we can promote across the nation to be used for all service providers to adopt. So this way, services on the for the streets and on the curb are done in an efficient and smart way, and opening it up for potentials. You don't know what you can do unless you let companies start thinking. There is an effort and some pilot programs in like Seattle, I think, Oakland, SFMTA, for those companies to serve commercial. So that would require eventually a Unicode change because right now the types of curves that we can have are defined in the Unicode. But that requires maybe finding that ability so that you can create a curve where you can charge a fee or reserve. And what from other city experiences, they find out that companies like UPS and FedEx and Amazon, they are willing to pay even to work as long as also the driver doesn't interact with anything. The driver would just do the delivery based on their GPS location and where they park. They will be charged automatically for the use of the space. There is a movement towards that, and they're finding cities like with maybe more critical mass, like New York, San Francisco, maybe they are finding that they're getting it by from all the companies.
So would this also include at one point the private people? If I want to reserve a parking spot as a
It
private
becomes a policy of how we manage that. Because another thing you want to take into consideration, the Uber drop-offs, the Uber Eats, all the deliveries that are non-traditional. I don't think the freight loading zone is relevant as it used to be. And we need to create another type of a curve where those people can still do their deliveries.
Maybe in 2 years.
Where we have the pilot is 18 months.
Starting in September.
September 15 is
It's a very short
effective date.
and fast.
Then you'll have collected the data that you need.
We will do
You've
area
identified
install.
all of the spaces and what they're being used for, and have a database of that stuff. Great. George?
Our inventory is gonna be more than what only the pilot area. Our inventory is gonna be almost complete. And then pilot area will be based on funds that we have to do sensor installation, data customization.
So you'll know about I always refer to it as the Kalanick property down here, which is the new restaurant thing that he's doing, which should be opening really soon. And the way they explained it to me when I got my secret tour some months ago is the side street, I can't remember whether I think it's Third. They are gonna try to reserve that whole area for Uber Eats and DoorDash and everybody else, because the front is gonna be for people to come in. They have it's amazing, they have 50 kitchens in there, or 25, a huge number of kitchens that people are gonna rent out, and there's a place to eat. But the model is for people to call in and buy from one of those, have it picked up, and off it goes. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens along that. I don't know if they've applied for access to.
We walked by it multiple times already.
Yeah, well,
It's not open
we
yet.
walked by it numerous times and said, we hope somebody there is thinking ahead and
Thinking about that.
starts reaching out, because as far as we know, they haven't.
I know some of the people, maybe I can punch it into them, but
Because we
they want that, that's their model, is they got a back door or side door, and that's where all the stuff goes in and out if it's going off in somebody's vehicle.
Currently, a large piece of that is freight loading, if I'm not mistaken. But freight loading doesn't work for
Doesn't work, that's
Uber driver in their on the court.
Well, then if there are a lot of tickets, then we can get more revenue numbers. The tickets don't go to us.
Yeah, no, I just.
Just think it outside.
Take that off the record. Parking board chair to stay.
Wasn't politically correct, probably wouldn't say it.
8A,
I mean, this is recorded.
Rick, do you wanna give us any, update on any downtown promotions or marketing?
Sure. Take off my mask so that people on TV can hear me. Well, we had a pretty good event season. We're all about vibrancy, getting more people downtown as best we can. And so we had Starlight City Dance and Dine Downtown, all exceeding expectations this year. On the communications front, we have several initiatives and how we're going to increase our email, the number of subscribers we have, and that's going very well. We've kind of figured out how to do email a little bit more efficiently so that people show up for events, and that's waiting not for a week ahead of time or even 3 days ahead of time, but 1 or 2 days ahead of time to alert them to events so that they can make plans. I think it's more a reactive society when it comes to what am I going to do tonight. And so I was hoping that all of this activity was going to mean more people and more revenue for the parking, right? Because that's kind of part of the whole equation, is increase getting people down here by car and parking in the garages. I guess also that it's more of the work day that's keeping revenue down. So I did just get some hot off the press Park SJ stats. I think last time I was here, I announced that we would have that our page views would be equal to 2019, which was kind of the basis for pre-COVID. In 2019, January 1 through September 5th, it's 156,000. Well, 157,000. And in 2023, now we're at 125. So we're 32,000 behind 2019 levels. People spending 2 minutes and 40 seconds on your website, which is great. And your event reservation page for the gymnastics, where people could get their $10 reservation, 1,800 views.
Get it? Uses of it?
I think maybe like it's during the adults one.
Okay. So you can reserve parking at the Market Street Garage now and the convention center for some key events. In the future, to roll that out to anybody that would like to just reserve a couple hours for lunch or for dinner on a regular night. Admittedly, there's no real occupancy pressure that would incent somebody, let's say, to rebook parking because they're not going to run into a situation where it's full. We hope to have that as an option. But for events like something at the SAP Center or the Convention Center or a theater event, it just makes sense for us to do what's out there and start just get some more traction.
I mean, it's convenient for them, so.
When you go in the garage, you don't have to hand somebody whatever it is, 10 or $20.
Nope.
How do they know?
Your
The
license
machine
plate,
already-
your license plate will
Or
be
your
on there.
QR.
Just like going out, going in.
And
Cool.
typically they'll either have an Apple or something, a QR code, so if it doesn't read the license plate for some reason, just scan it, enter it.
So you just reserve a spot, not a particular spot.
Just, yeah, you have access to the garage, yeah. So it's not like a space in the garage, but that would be difficult.
Yeah. But we still have that, whole.
There is a rate on the books that would allow us to reserve a space in a garage, and it's
Double.
double
Like
the
double
price
the
that you would otherwise pay. I mean, it would have to be something at such a big scale that it would make sense to have a person policing individual spaces.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Thanks, Rick. City council committee agenda items. I don't have any that I'm aware of outside of tonight. There's a historic landmarks commission meeting where the Milligan parking lot development will be heard. And so
That's your chance that's a historic building.
There is,
It's not one of the big eight or anything like that.
No,
They're
no.
like photos.
there's a property there that's on some list for potential designation. It has to go through the process, so. That's tonight. After that, things will matriculate through the process, hopefully, so that development can continue. And that, I don't have anything on the council agenda item. Our next meeting will be November 1st, 10 a.m., not 10:07.
I have a good excuse, but I won't tell you. I apologize, Jessica.
I'm just happy you're here. I was thinking, we have to cancel this meeting. Please spread the word. There's vacancies. You have anybody that's interested, either send them my way. I'd be happy to send them the link. They can go straight to the city's webpage, go to the clerk's site, and list all boards and commissions. It's generally just a generic application, and there's a spot where you can, in a drop-down, select the board that you want. So
You'll take anyone because there's an at-large representative.
at-large is really easy to fill.
No.
Downtown
I'm
Association.
sure the downtown association will have somebody before the next meeting, I'm sure.
And then
We have our annual meeting, second week of October, so pushing it.
I would encourage you guys not to wait, because the city's cadence that they bring these to the city council, it isn't like every week they say, here's a couple of people to appoint. It's on certain schedules or cadence that the clerk's office brings a bundle forward. So sooner rather than later to just at least get in that queue so that we know.
Qualifies as an events representative.
I think we can be really loose with that.
If they've been to an event.
Encourage somebody that's, has a booth at a farmer's market.
Oh, you gotta get Bill on there.
I think we've asked.
Oh,
We've asked the kind of the big names that people know, if you will, that are really engaged, and they say,
have
no,
both
thank you.
data.
Yeah,
Well, we'll just send them this tape and see what an entertaining, joyful meeting it is about.
Ryan Sebastian, I think we reached out to. So, yeah,
Brandon,
that name doesn't ring a bell.
Jess,
Uh,
Jess.
I didn't personally reach out, doesn't mean like somebody from, Lagate's office
Yeah.
or something didn't also, because I've kind of thrown out the feelers, both internally and externally. So if you know somebody, please send them our way.
Oh,
Well, it's not about you guys. I mean, all the commissions are struggling to find people. The airport commission, I know, is just everybody. People are still ramping up from COVID, basically.
I mean, people's personal and business lives, take priority sometimes and can't always be engaged, so I get it. So November 1st, 10 a.m. We'll figure out what room we're in, we'll disseminate that along with the Zoom link.
My best to be on Lombardi time, which is 15 minutes prior.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
What did we get to the publication?